It's like AI has taken over the world right now, and that is why in this episode of the Mortgage Business Mastery Show, what I want to do is talk about use cases that mortgage brokers can use AI for, more specifically ChatGPT. And these are very basic use cases. I'll probably do, and I'm going to do actually some episodes in the future talking about more prompting engineering and how you can do more in-depth things with it. But these are just the use cases, and I've written down here 5 use cases on my notes here to talk you through. These are ones that I've just seen when I work with clients and we're working in their brokerages. What we're seeing is these are good uses for it. So let's dive into them. So the first one you've got is marketing. Now, this is a really blanketed one. Obviously with marketing, what I'm talking about here is you can use it to get content ideas. You can use it to write blogs. You can use it to write social media posts. You can use it to generate social media video content ideas. You can use it to generate images. There's so much cool stuff you can do with AI. But as a tool for marketing, it's absolutely wicked. Now, a little bit of a tip for this in regards to marketing. What I do recommend people do is use something like what I'm doing here. So taking a podcast or a piece of video content that is you talking completely, and it's your words and it's your voice and it's your opinions, taking that transcript and then putting that transcript into something like ChatGPT. What that does is that will mean that the content that it's being used in creating from is your information, your advice, your personality. If you ask it, and this is what I would avoid doing, is if you ask it to just say, can you write me a blog on how this thing happens, then not great. It's going to generate you some really quite basic, quite rubbish content that isn't going to reflect your personality. So that's something to keep in mind with that. The next use case we have is data analysis. So this one is brilliant. I have a client who we were looking through their data. They were able to download a CSV file of all their clients, and then what they did was they put that data into the AI, and they then asked it to find trends in that data. So we were able to find out that actually their average client business speak, but they earn around 150,000 a year. We were able to find out they predominantly work in IT. We were able to find out they were predominantly buying in the Southeast. We were also able to find out but nearly all of them had children. So this allowed us to see what our quote ideal client and niche would actually be. And it was all done by data analysis from their entire annual client bank. So everyone they'd worked with in the last year just downloaded it, put it straight in. They can get that data, by the way, from their CRMs. So that was one of the ways that we used it. Another way you used it is for emails. So to email clients, this can be great. So if you want to send emails that sound a bit professional, that sound like you're covering all these points, you can do that. And one of the great ways we actually use it for with AI for us is for emails to clients after the meeting. So after a meeting, you can use something like Fathom, which summarizes the meeting for you if you're doing it on Zoom. So I do this all the time. So using its AI note taker through it, it summarizes it. And then you can actually get you can get the note taker, the AI note taker, Fathom in this case. You can get that to then send an email, a summary email of the appointment to the client. Wicked, massive time saver. Fathom, by the way, is free to use the basic one, and then the premium one is not much at all, but it's free to use the basic one. If you want to use that and you want to have, I think I've got 3 months free premium. If you go onto my Instagram, which is @ashborland, click on, I think it's software on the highlights. One of those things is the link to Fathom, and it will take you to you'll get 3 months free, which is, it's like a special deal you can get. So you'll sign up for free. You don't have to put any credit card details or anything in. You just can use that. So if that's something to try out, if you want to try that out. So emails to clients is great, automated emails to them. The other one you've got is complaints. So this is something that's come up recently actually for a number of clients, and this is something that I have used it for, is if quite a few clients recently have had a few complaints come in, which is never nice, bless her. It's awful when you know that as a broker, if you've ever had a complaint, and none of them have been upheld, which is wonderful because we knew they wouldn't, because it's just idiot clients most of the time. But the dealing with the complaint, when you're in that complaint mode, this is where it's very interesting, because when you're in that space, what you say is going to be used potentially against you. So having your AI write you the response is awesome. And so I've even used this in the past with awkward clients who potentially weren't with me, for example. We maybe didn't quite see eye to eye, and maybe they were asking things that I thought were unreasonable, but I don't want to say, get lost, you're being an idiot. So I will say, I will respond and I'll write the message, or I actually dictate all of mine. So I'll dictate my message into it saying, this is what I think, and this is what I believe you need to do. And then I'll say, please, this is a conversation that could be a little confrontational. Please, can you make this message non-confrontational? Can you make this message polite, not passive aggressive, but still get to the point across of what it is we're trying to do? And that will rewrite it in a very, what's the word? A very political, is it a political word? I don't really know. It's the politician. We know what politicians are like. So it's like saying it without really saying it. And you can do this with complaints or doing this with awkward clients. So if you've got an awkward client and you think that could become a complaint, you can start to do this, and it's really wonderful. And you can really, as a complaint, you can even say, I'm a mortgage broker. In the UK, I'm regulated by the FCA and the Financial Ombudsman Scheme. I don't want this to go to a complaint. Don't say this, but please can you cover off all angles that if this was to be a complaint, that I'll be okay. And it will do that, because it has data across there. So it will actually write it. It's actually insane what this thing can do. So really useful. And then the other one we have, which I think is the fifth one, similar to this, we're using it actually in fee agreements because of the FCA with the changes of like consumer duty and fees and things like that. We're actually we're uploading the new FCA guidelines for different things, the handbooks and all this different stuff. The MCOB, the whole lot can be uploaded into a custom GPT, and you can then actually say to it, can you write this fee agreement? Can you write this ID, this fee agreement, this terms of business? Can you make this literature reflect my fees and make it compliant with the latest consumer duty rules and allow me still to be able to do X, Y, and Z, so that you can go through and you can change, like you said, literature within your business to read better, but give you more scope from a legal perspective and from a regulatory perspective to actually do the things you want to do. This is really cool. We're having this with a firm of mine who's DA. They actually used it for them, and they're having some, again, great results with this, because he's able to have very cohesive and correct information, but also doesn't have to pay some crazy compliance team to do it. Plus, it allows him more scope and freedom to do the type of business he wants to do with him and his firm. They've got a large firm, they're a 7-figure business, so they're able to do a lot more with it. So these are some of the use cases with AI that mortgage brokers should be looking at. And the reason why I wanted to do an episode on this is I don't think many of you really realize how much it can actually do. And this is just scratching the surface. There are tons more we can do with AI. But just that, the marketing, data analysis, emailing, summaries, meeting summaries, complaints and dealing with awkward clients, making sure your literature is compliant with FCA rules. All of this stuff is very doable. So I would recommend, whatever you do, start doing that. And the best thing with this, ChatGPT is the main one to do. As an organization, I would be going and doing a paid version of ChatGPT. It is significantly more powerful. You're going to get significantly better results from it. It always makes me laugh when people say, I've used ChatGPT, doesn't really give me great results. And I'm like, do you pay for it? No. That's why. Like the ChatGPT 3.5, is not as good as ChatGPT 4.0, or 4.0. It is not the same. It is worlds apart. So don't fall into the trap of thinking they're the same. That's today's episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Check out the Mortgage Marketing Blueprint if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.